Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, more like it. Welcome to Concord, North Carolina for the My Cricket Makes Truck series. Charlotte Motor Speedway opened in 1960 by Bruton Smith and NASCAR legend Curtis Turner, with the running the longest stock car race in history, the World 600. The Charlotte Motor Speedway closed before it ultimately became the home track of so many NASCAR teams. Just a year after the first race, the 1.5-mile oval track was in bankruptcy, done in by a huge infield rock formation that ballooned construction costs far beyond what the two founders had forecast. Almost 60 years later, nearly everything is different. More than 89,000 seats ring the racetrack, which was first super speedway to install lights for night racing. The first racetrack to incorporate condominium apartment complex overlooking the racing surface. The first to build an office complex with the same view. The first track to sell naming rights, and the first to open a year-round club where members can spectate during races and socialize with fellow club members at other times. Everything is different from 1960, except for one thing: fast cars and screaming fans. From DW hoping Rusty chokes on that $200,000 to the pass in the grass that wasn't really a pass, NASCAR legends have made their mark here over the years, and tonight, the My Cricket Makes Truck series, and it's coming up next on HBR TV. Once again, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway, Concord, North Carolina. My Cricket Makes Truck series practice underway here at the Speedway. A couple of minutes left. Of course, a 315 is Zach Millett, top of the board, a 30:38 for the driver of that machine. Can anybody stop this guy? Relative newcomer to the series. Been on a tear as of late. Taking a look at the times in practice again, Zach Millett, a 30:38. Steve Requino's best time, a 30:46. Kevin Feemster, a 55. Youngs was a 59, and so on and so forth. Relatively close times here in practice. Again, the draft does come into play slightly here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Again, a 1.5-mile quad oval, but still plenty of opportunity to get some of that slipstream, as they say over in the Formula One and sports car side of things. But tonight we got NASCAR, we got the trucks, we got the My Cricket Makes Truck series. Gonna jump into qualifying here in about 45 seconds or so. Before we get too deep into things, we can't forget the sponsors. Once again, it is the My Cricket Makes Truck series. My Cricket Makes custom-made signs and a lot more. Contact Tabitha Brown at 618-340-0900 for your custom-made signs or more. Thanks to LSI Litchfield Specialty, primary sponsor of the Litchfield Specialty ARCA series. Thanks to Sudath Taxidermy, competition quality at a commercial price. Contact award-winning taxidermist James Sudath at 636-544-7836. Thanks to D. Dixon & Sons Trucking Incorporated. And the TRS, theracingschool.net. Check them out, theracingschool.net, or call 877-CAN-RACE for your opportunity out at Thompson Speedway. Get behind the wheel of a real full-bodied race car, full-bodied stock car, or tour-type modified. 2022 schedule is out. April 9th, they get rolling here all the way through the end of October, weather permitting. Practice is complete. Going to jump into the qualifying session here in just a moment. A couple of drivers making their way to the grid already. No one on track as of yet. Possibly Jeremy Young is going to roll out. Yep, the 44 with the Hallmar paint on the track. Start his run. Low 30-second laps for your qualifying trim is expected here this evening. Best time I think I've seen was maybe a 30.2. I know Zach Millett was in the mid threes. All dependent on track conditions, weather conditions. Cooler we go, the better they handle. Also make a little bit more horsepower. Jeremy Young's out of Dexter, New York, starts lap 1 of 2, and he's loose off of turn number 2, gathers it up. Does he no, he straightens that machine out. just in time to get some speed back into 3 and 4. Lap 2 is going to be the one that's going to matter for him. Lap 1, not so much. I think Young's tried to go wide open through 1 and 2. It's possible, but man, is it a hairy experience to try and do that. We're going to stick with him here, see what he can clock in for the second lap. Still puts him top of the board on that first lap. Again, first one to complete one. LaJoie pops in a 30.70 on his first lap. Young's was a 34.35 with that hair racing experience off of turn number 2. Young's up on the high side, off the corner. Turn number 4 through the dog leg here. Let's see what lap 2 yields for the driver of the number 44. 30.814 for Jeremy Youngs. Ben Choate rolling out of the pit lane here, coming up to speed on his out lap. Ben Choate, most recent winner in the LSI ARCA series, took home the checkered flag at Talladega here this past Thursday. Photo finish for the driver of the number 1. Lap for Ben Choate, 30.842. Lap 2 is likely to be a bit quicker, some more heat in these tires. Move on here to Zach Millett. The 315 was fastest in the practice session. Zach Millett makes his home up in Clayton, New York, up near the Thousand Islands. First lap for Zach, a 30.606. That's row 2 starting position so far. Kevin Feemster goes to 4th on the board with a 30.81. Brian Torsh's first lap, a 31.06. Zach Millett crosses the line here to complete lap number 2. A 30.418. That's good enough to put him on the pole position. It wasn't quite practice speed, about a 10th off of that pace for Zach Millett. Brian Torsha finished up lap 2 at 30.78. 4th fast on the board, Kevin Feemster. Lap 2 at 30.567. 3rd fastest time. Steve Requino going to roll out of the pits here. Let's see what kind of time the 24 can clock in. Steve Requino right to the outside wall. Corner exit at turn number 2. Lap 1, a 30.716. 5th fastest for Steve Requino. Expect an increase, a faster time here on the second lap. See what the 24 can throw down on the backstretch here. Half a lap to go to complete his run. Clean lap looking for the 24. He's into the dog leg, crosses the line. 30.581 fourth quick for Steve Requino. So far, one truck, Clinton Myers, is yet to take to the racetrack to start his qualifying attempt. May opt to not take that qualifying time. Most of the drivers tonight did. Got 13 trucks here in the session this evening. Clinton Myers, the 13th truck on the leaderboard right now, as he has yet to take a time in qualifying. We still have about 3.5 minutes remaining before we move over into the race session itself. So he has that opportunity. Again, no sense to really wait too long here, as the track isn't really going to cool down a whole lot more with no sunshine already. We're going to step aside here, take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Charlotte, North Carolina, the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the My Cricket Makes Truck Series. Qualifying just about wrapped up here at the Speedway. Another 90 seconds or so before it becomes official. But once again, we need to mention My Cricket Makes custom-made signs and a lot more. Contact Tabitha Brown at 618-340-0900. Again, My Cricket Makes, the title sponsor of the My Cricket Makes Truck Series. Thanks to LSI Litchfield Specialty, primary partner of the LSI Litchfield Specialty ARCA Series. Thanks to Sudath Taxidermy, competition, quality, and commercial price. Contact award-winning taxidermist James Sudath at 636-544-7836. Special thanks to D. Dixon & Sons Trucking Incorporated. And thanks to TRS, theracing-school.net. Give them a call at 877-CAN-RACE for your opportunity behind the wheel of a full-bodied stock car or tour type modified out at Thompson Speedway. You can pass. You don't need to worry about someone up front of you in a pace car setting the pace for you. They encourage you to go out there, push the limits behind the wheel of a real race car. Again, 2022 dates are posted April 9th through the end of October, weather permitting. So certainly give them a call or stop on to theracing-school.net and check them out. And the race info for tonight, it's the My Cricket Makes Truck Series from Concord, North Carolina, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 80 laps is the event tonight. You have one set of tires over the wall, and they're operating on a 65% fuel load, which is roughly 12.1 gallons. A pit window under green should be between 30 and 35 laps. So we'll see how they work that strategy here tonight. If we get long green flag runs, it could come into play. Qualifying is official. Go to our starting grid here. See the lineup for the My Cricket Makes Truck Series here from Charlotte. On the pole position, of course, it is the 315 of Zach Millett. Again, a force to be reckoned with here as of late. Relatively new to the series, but familiar face out at the front of the field. Starting to his outside, another familiar face to the front of the field. It is the 29 of Mike LaJoy. Kevin Feemster in row 2. He'll start in the third spot, the number 7 machine. Starting in the fourth position, it is Steve Requino. The number 24 machine will roll off in that fourth spot. Shane Wagner starts 5th with Brian Torsha, the 2 machine, starting in the 6th position with OG Racing. Starting 7th with Jeremy Youngs, it's Mecca Motorsports, the number 44, starting 7th. Pete Woodrum in the 6th with 304 Motorsports will start in the 8th position with Ben Choate, the number 8, starting 9th. The 20 of Aaron Conover will roll off from the 10th position with Eric Beadle, the number 19 with Beadle Motorsports will start in the 11th position. Dave Bennett, the number 13 machine, will start 12th. And 13th starter, Clinton Myers. It's the other one truck, so don't let that get confusing for everybody tonight. Ben Choate, typically the one truck. You will see the one on the side of his vehicle, also on the side of Clinton Myers. Keep in mind, the one of Clinton Myers is in a red, white, and blue livery versus the Ben Choate machine carrying the colors of my Cricut makes. So keep that in mind. Ben Choate, my Cricut makes. Clinton Myers, Folds of Honor. Got it? Good. That's your starting grid here for the My Cricut Makes Truck Series from Charlotte, North Carolina. Field on their formation lap, getting into turn number 3 right as we speak. Get ready to take the green flag here from Charlotte. Zach Millett holds the field down again, waiting on the starter to wave the green flag.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Green flag waves were underway from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Lap 1 in the book. Zach Millett out to an early lead from the pole position. Mike LaJoie rides in the 2nd spot. Unchallenged right now. Steve Requino in 3rd, Wagner 4th, and Kevin Feemster 5th. We work the backstretch here, the 2nd lap of the event. Steve Requino, though, with some challenging coming from the 26 of Shane Wagner. Shane looking to the outside. Little wiggle on the apron. The 24 gets just a little bit too far below the yellow line, or in this case, the white and blue line. Upsets the handle on that truck, allows the 26 of Wagner to get right to the tailgate of that Napa machine into turns 1 and 2. Once again, Shane Wagner pouring the pressure on. It's a car length and a half back to the 26. Further back in the pack, Jeremy Youngs in the 5th position. Kevin Feemster trying to take it away as they cross the line here. Lap 4 on the board. 44 Youngs cuts off the nose of the 7, maintains the 5th position. Kevin Feemster trails in behind, really trying to take that over. Seems to be a bit faster, but has to regroup. Truck length behind the 44 down the backstretch into 3. Zach Millett still out to a decent lead here, 2.5 seconds over Mike LaJoie. Kevin Feemster making a look to the inside of the 44 of Youngs into turn number 3. They're side by side through the middle of the corner. 44 of Youngs is going to battle back up top. Can Feemster clear him? Not quite yet. Into the dog leg they go. Ford versus Chevy as they cross the line. Feemster down low in the Sugarland Shine F-150 up top. The Hallmark Chevrolet still battling back. Gets the position back from Kevin Feemster. The 7 unable to close the deal and take over that top 5 spot. Battle for the 3rd spot. Shane Wagner, Steve Requino still in the mix. Again, Wagner was in behind there in the 4th spot, has gotten around the 24. Requino trying to take it back away. 7 laps in. Again, tire temperatures coming up. Wear changing throughout the course of the run. Again, the handle on these trucks will be changing throughout this run. A little loose at the beginning, a little tight at the end. And fixed setups here in the My Cricut Makes Truck series. Unable to make a whole lot of changes. Of course, you can either add fuel or not. That can change the balance of the truck. You can change tires or not. You can change right sides or left sides. That can change the balance as well. But that's really about it, aside from brake bias, which they're not using them a whole lot here, if at all. Those are the only adjustments really available to these drivers in this particular series. Kind of evens things up. Makes it all about the driver for the most part, and a little bit of strategy involved. And these drivers not running with spotters, not running with crew chiefs, so it's driver and crew chief at the wheel. You got to make those decisions. Do I take 2 tires? Do I take 4 tires? Do I take no tires? Certainly don't recommend that here. Lap time's already starting to fall. 30.52 for Zach Millett is the best lap he's put down in the race so far. Already a half second of fall off for the 315 at the front of the field. Further back through the field, defending truck champion Brian Torsha in the 9th position. Torsha in behind the 20 of Aaron Conover as they work the dog leg now into turn number 1. Aaron Conover in that Toyota Tundra with the Thor Sport Racing livery. It's a good looking truck, I got to admit. Two notables missing tonight. Brian Rupert unable to get in. Some internet-related issues. Jamie Kerr traveling the countryside here this afternoon, this weekend, unable to make it. Dale Legan, not sure where Dale's at tonight. I know he's watching the stream, but unable to get into the race. Jeremy Youngs looks like he's losing a spot to the one of Ben Choate as they go through the dog leg once again. Ben Choate now up to the 6th position. .44 Young's in the wall just a bit, scrapes up the right side of that number 44 Silverado, keeps his foot in the throttle though. Aaron Conover still going to take advantage off turn number 2, side by side down the back straightaway. Conover's going to try and steal the 7th spot away from the 44. Takes it with ease. Brian Torsha going to try and do the same. Let's ride on board with Brian Torsha, the driver, the number 2. Out of Hudson, New York, trying to steal the spot away as well. Move Porsche from 9th to 8th. If he gets by the 44, they're into turn 1. These two doing battle side by sides allowed the 20 of Conover to gap it to about 1.2 seconds back to these two. Didn't take too long as Conover had just recently gone by the 44. Brian Torsha trying to do the same. Has he completed this pass? Let's take a look at another camera. Nope, still side by side with the 44. Maybe a nose out in front as they head down the back straightaway. Now in turn 3, Torsha's going to have the 44 of Young's clear. Move the 2 truck up to the 8th position. Little wiggle there with Pete Woodrum in the 6. Woodrum battling with the 13 of Dave Bennett up the high side, the black and orange machine. In behind them, it is the 19 of Eric Beadle. Clinton Myers at the rear of the field. Again, you see it, the stars and stripes there, the Folds of Honor Ford F-150 back of the pack. Just trying to soak some things in here early on in the race. 17 laps in of 80. 64 left to go. Clinton Myers is going to take over the 12th position from Jeremy Youngs. Jeremy sliding back through the field, and with this much of a free fall out of the 44, I've got to imagine that this could be strategy based. This race has gone on 18 laps, caution free. Again, 30 to 35 laps, the fuel window. If we stay full green the whole time, he may be trying to save some fuel, maybe trying to save some tire. Is the 44 of Youngs as he has slipped back to the last car in the field. I don't see any damage on that machine, but right now Clinton Myers has gone by and starting to gap a full second back to the 44. Curious if the 44 may be in fuel save mode, knowing that we're going to have to pit here soon. He can stretch it out a few extra laps. But again, tire fall off is key. We're already a full second and a half slower than we were 20 laps ago. At least that is the leader's pace. Again, a 30-50 roughly out of the 315 of Zach Millett. That was his fastest lap of the race so far. The last time by, a 32.09. So again, tire is certainly a major factor. It's almost that if you hit the pit lane a little bit sooner to take on that new Goodyear rubber, kind of undercut these guys, because you're going to be out there running a second to 2 seconds a lap faster than those that have not hit. So again, strategy comes into play. You've kind of got to be a mathematician at the wheel at the same time as trying to be a wheelman in itself. A lot to try and digest as you're trying to lead this race in the case of Zach Millett. Dave Bennett battling with the 19 of Beadle. Beadle's trying to go down low here and take this spot away. This would be for the top 10 position of 10. And the 13 machine of Dave Bennett has it, but Beadle's starting to close that gap. Getting aggressive in the rearview mirror of the number 13 truck. Ben Choate trying to fight off the 20 of Aaron Conover as he getting to turn 3. Conover goes way low. Not sure if that was a late block by the 1 of Choate. Either way, Conover saw it just in time, dropped down to the apron, didn't have a problem. Gets back to the tailgate of the 1. Choate crosses the line here. 23 laps in the books. 18 shy of halfway. Got a handful of you guys on the Facebook side. Tabitha Brown says, Dale says hi. Well, I guess that sums it up. I guess Dale and Tabitha are hanging out. Tabitha, of course, with My Cricut Makes as we watch the 1 of Ben Choate. My Cricut Makes plastered on the side of that number 1 machine. Battling with the 20 of Aaron Conover here. This is for the 6th position. Choate's got it. Trying to keep it and not give it to the 20 of Aaron Conover. Ben Choate closing down the 26 of Shane Wagner in a hurry, at least into turns 3 and 4. Scrapes the right side on the safer barrier. Just barely got into it enough to make some fireworks. Gets to the back bumper of the 26. Choate certainly had the run. Wasn't going to lift. Proverbial, hey, hi, how are you? I'm here. Yeah, that's my bumper on your tailgate. I'm going to go by on the high side down the backstretch. Move Ben Choate into the top 5. Back out front, we haven't talked a whole lot about Zach Millett other than the fact he started on the pole position and has led this race since the outset. Got quite the lead over second place Steve Requeno, almost 4 full seconds back to the 24. Mike LaJoy is third, Kevin Teamster fourth. Now Ben Choate recently into the top 5. Choate's up 4 positions since the drop of the green flag. Field pretty well spread out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And the battle continues here. This is for the 10th position. Dave Bennett and Eric Beadle still battling out. I know it's further back in the pack, but we continue to watch this battle accumulate, build up, and get a little more exciting. Beadle gets to the inside here into turn number 3. He's going to dive it down low. Lets out just a hair before the 13, slides it up as the 13 of Bennett drops down low. Move Eric Beadle into the 10th spot. Meanwhile, Jeremy Youngs is in the pit lane getting regular service. Again, fuel window 30 to 35 laps. Jeremy Youngs might be trying to do the undercut here, hit the pit lane a little bit sooner, trying to get that advantage for the tires. He rolls down the pit lane, 4 tires and fuel for the number 44 Halmar Silverado. Rejoining the field again, going to be lapped down here as he gets back up to speed, but everybody else now needs to get back into the throttle and now back down pit lane at some point to get their regular service. Green flag stops just beginning to happen here at Charlotte. Youngs gets out here just in front of leader Zach Millett. Again, Young's fresh tires. He's side by side with Zach through 3 and 4. Don't think this is going to be a problem for Jeremy Youngs. Again, he's got to get some heat into those Goodyear tires, but should have no problem clearing the one, not going down 2 laps. And if we get a caution, he's the first and only truck a lap down. He'd get the lucky dog and cycle back around to the lead lap. See, he does clear the 315. Sets sail into turn number 3. Further back in the pack, again, second spot, Steve Requeno, Mike LaJoy third. A couple of truck lengths between these two, maybe 3. Green flag stopped about to start getting underway. Jeremy Youngs may have done it a little bit sooner to try and close that gap. We've been green since the drop of the first green flag. No cautions thus far. Again, we'll knock on wood for that one. Pit stops again underway. Eric Beadle in the pit lane himself, rolling down. Start his service. First stop of the evening for the number 19 machine. Mike LaJoy also down the pit lane. Jeremy Youngs also down the pit lane. Not sure if maybe the 44 had a pit road speeding penalty. You can tell the pit camera is awfully close to the action. And leader Zach Millett down the pit lane here, lap 32. End of lap 32 was the most that the 315 could push without hitting the pit lane. We talked to, I think it might have been Brian Torsha early on in the practice session. He predicted 31:32 was the most they could run. Seems pretty spot on as of now. The leader in the pit lane, Aaron Conover, has taken over the top spot with this cycle. Again, Conover has not hit the pit lane just yet. Over that Toyota Tundra with Thor Sport on the side. This is lap 33 for the 20 machine. He works turn 4. He's going to hit the pit lane as well. So 33 laps on a tank of fuel for Aaron Conover. Again, Conover was in the middle pack there for a little while in the draft. Certainly not using quite as much fuel as the leaders. See the 2 of Brian Torsha in the pit lane as well. Through all that, Pete Woodrum is cycled to the lead, but he's going to pull down pit lane. He got 34 laps under green. So Clinton Myers got 34 laps as well. Again, you see a 1 on the side of that truck, as well as Ben Choate. Just a clerical error on the side of the league. They'll get that straightened out before the next race. Ben Choate, typically the driver of the number 1, but looks like Clinton Myers may have missed the box, or just barely. The nose, nope, has to back it up. That's going to cost him a ton of track position. Again, under green flag pit stops here, lap 35 on the board. Clinton Myers is going to free fall to the back of the field here, especially with missing his box and not even realizing it right away. Had to back that truck up after sitting for about 3 or 4 seconds. Again, that's like 1,000 feet on the racetrack. Caution does come out, though. Looks like Pete Woodrum may have had an issue. The 6 of Pete Woodrum trouble. Didn't look like serious damage on that machine, but the caution comes out nonetheless. Starting to wonder if the 6 of Pete Woodrum on his pit stop didn't get it full as he's slow rolling out of the pit lane. Let's listen to this again here. Watch the tack. And there you have it. Pete Woodrum didn't get the fuel put in, didn't check the box for that green flag pit stop, got the 4 tires, but no fuel for the 6. Gets just to the end of pit lane and runs out, brings us under our first caution of the afternoon. Tough break for the 6 of Woodrum. He was leading this race as he went to the pit lane. We're going to step aside here and take a short break. We were not going to go to the official commercial or the official break screen. We're going to stay right with this, see if anybody decides to top off the tanks, but I'll be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Concord, North Carolina, the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the My Cricket Makes Truck Series, lap 38 of 80. Just shy of halfway under our first caution of the evening for the number 6 of Pete Woodrum. Just an oversight on his part. Unable to get the truck full, it looks like. The exit of pit road runs out. Has to stop on the racetrack and get the tow truck back to the pit lane to get that thing topped off with fuel. However, that said, Pete Woodrum still sits on the pit lane, finally getting to roll away. Again, a long tow back to the pits to get that thing filled back up. Maybe some troubles getting it to refire, but Pete Woodrum going to rejoin the race in that number 6 machine. On the track, Woodrum lost 3 laps out of that exchange. But at the front of the field, it is still the 315 of Zach Millett. Second spot, Steve Requino, Mike LaJoy third, Feemster fourth, Aaron Conover fifth. And it appears we're going to be getting back to the green flag here momentarily. Formed up 2x2. Riding on board with Zach Millett. You see the pace car lights are indeed off. So coming to green here as the pace car is going to duck off the banking, head down the pit lane right about now.
Green flag.
Green flag waves back underway. The My Cricket Makes Truck Series back green here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Lap 40 of 80. One more time around, we'll be officially past halfway.
Caution, caution,
Oh, the caution comes back out. Ben Choate in trouble. Not sure what happened. Not a whole lot of damage to that machine, if any. Well, let's go look at it here. The My Cricket Makes instant replay. Let's see what happened. Ooh, gets in with Kevin Feemster. Both trucks go down. He collects Aaron Conover. A much bigger incident than we had thought. Let's look at it again. Watch Aaron Conover here. Nope, it's already underway at this point. Trying to get a better look into what really precipitated this, what caused this issue with Ben Choate and the 7. Again, I'm only guessing at this point, but it very well could be that Ben Choate may have been trying to time the restart, got a better jump than the 7, and the 7 just didn't fire right away. Actually, looks like the 7 may have gotten into the wall, spun the tires a bit, which is really going to cause the 1 to catch him. And there you have it. But meanwhile, we've got some takers on pit lane. They cannot make it from this distance. We see this happening now. Michael LaJoy, Kevin Feemster, Requino. Feemster probably for repairs. Ben Choate possibly the same. Eric Beadle, Dave Bennett. Few trucks down the pit lane at lap 42. That would put us at 39 laps to make it to the finish. They're going to need some caution flag laps to make this work as far as the fuel is concerned. Again, 34 laps seemed to be the most anybody was able to push it, at least on that first green flag cycle. Now, keep in mind, we did have a a yellow flag formation lap before the green. So there's, they say, what is it? 1 lap under caution is 2 laps under green. So maybe 36 laps if we're being really optimistic. We're not back to green yet. It's going to be tight. I think a caution is going to have to come out between now and checkered flag time for these guys that pit on this cycle to make it to the finish. It's not impossible. And again, with fuel save, fuel conservation, these guys can roll out of the throttle a tick early. wait a little bit longer to get back in the gas. That is a great way to save fuel. Sitting in the draft certainly helps as well. Maybe get yourself an extra lap out of doing just that. But again, some of these drivers making another opportunity to hit the pit lane. It's going to be close, but you want every drop you can. And again, that one lap under caution, these guys just pit, most of them at least the last time by. They're near the rear of the field. They got nothing to lose. You might as well top off the tanks another time before we get the one to go in the green flag. The Youngs and Choate, as well as Conover, it looks like. Yeah, Conover had to back up in his stall before his pit work would begin. Right side tires going on that machine. Just rights on the 20. Again, they were only given one full set of tires over the wall. Okay, we started the race with, of course, a full set, but in this case, he may be using the right sides only. I don't know if Conover took lefts previously or not. Very interesting. Well, Zach Millett still at the front of the field. Now Brian Torsha, the number 2 machine, has worked his way towards the front row, sits in the 2nd position. Clinton Myers battled back all the way to the 3rd spot. You see that number 1 Folds of Honor machine. Again, today he's the 1. He's not typically going to be the 1, as Ben Choate is usually the number 1 machine as far as the trucks are concerned. Even Arca as well. And once again, we see drivers hitting the pit lane another time. Pete Woodrum, Mike LaJoy, Kevin Feemster. You got the 44 of Jeremy Youngs, and I think Ben Choate as well. Hitting the pit lane another time. Again, this is going to be to top off the tanks. We might have enough to make it. Lights are off. We're on the 1 to go. So these guys better hustle. Top off those tanks. Be 35 laps to go when we get the green. That's going to be 1 lap further than anybody was able to stretch it on that first green flag run. Still think we're either going to need a caution to come out or some serious fuel save. Make it to the finish without hitting the pit lane. The problem is, do you start to save fuel right now, or do you wait it out and hope you get a caution and decide, okay, well, I'm not going to get a caution. I really need to save about 2 laps of fuel, but by then, is it too late? But if you save too early and then the caution comes out, well, you're just at the back of the field for no reason. A lot of variables involved. Strategy is huge when it comes to these, especially when you get into the fuel mileage type races. Right now, Zach Millett has been the dominant truck out there this afternoon. So you're going to have to mix it up. Going to have to try something different than what the leaders are doing. Zach Millett did not hit the pit lane. Again, up at the front of the field. You don't want to sacrifice that track position, get you back there in the weeds. Going to leave it to be. Sit up front, pace car peels off the banking. Zach Millett about to get in the throttle. He can fire when he's ready once they get to the restart zone, which is about here. And he does, right at the end of the zone, in the gas, green flag waves. Zach Millett, good jump over Brian Torsha. Zach Millett, gone. Plus lengths back to the 2 on the opening lap, off of turn 2. Brian Torsha under some pressure now. Dave Bennett was a interloper at the back of the field. He's making a move here for the 2nd spot. Goes underneath the 2 of Brian Torsha. Move Dave Bennett up to the 2nd spot. Lap 46 of 80. And some of these guys throwing all caution to the wind. Foot down, and Torsha's in the wall. Scrapes the outside safer barrier. Everybody's got to scramble to get down below the 2. Caution does not come out. 2 stays in the gas, but loses many a position, at least back to the 4th spot here. Maybe going to lose 5th here from the 26 of Wagner as they work into 1. Pete Woodrum kind of in the mix here. Woodrum again, a lap down truck, not in contention for these positions. The 13 gets on by. Steve Requeno closes the gap a bit on the 13 truck of Dave Bennett. While all this goes on, Zach Millett stretches his advantage over Dave Bennett to almost a full second. Down the backstretch, and Woodrum is in the fence again off of turn number 2. Ryan Torsha struggling since the restart, sliding backwards right now. Aaron Conover has gone by, so is Clinton Myers. Mike LaJoie trying to take the spot as well. Torsha tries to block, but not enough time to do it. Or is there? No, LaJoie is going to get on by, but now he's got to worry about the 26 of Shane Wagner. I don't know what is up with the 2 of Brian Torsha. Free falling here, 49 laps in, 32 to go to close it out. Charlotte Motor Speedway. Brian Torsha restarted on the front row. He has slipped back to the 7th spot, most of which after getting into the outside safer barrier. Truck looks pretty good, but must have damaged something, possibly in the right front suspension, but unable to really do much with that truck at this point. And something has happened to Zach Millett. Zach has slipped to the 3rd position. I don't know if he's gotten into the wall, but Steve Requeno has taken over the top spot. Let's go back and look at the replay, see if we can catch what happened. Zach Millett slowed on the backstretch. Steve Requeno and Dave Bennett both just going to follow through here and take over that position. Back it up a little further here. I don't know if Zach gets into the wall. And I hate doing this rewind stuff, but unless something significant enough for iRacing to point it out happens. Now it looks like Zach is just backed out of the throttle. I don't know what's going on with that, but possibly fuel save. Again, we talked about that. If this goes green to the end, we know the 315 did not hit the pit lane. He had some opportunities to do that, but didn't want to sacrifice the track position. But Zach Millett, 315 truck, that Silverado, has slipped to the 3rd spot. Been the class of the field so far this evening, but not right now. Steve Requeno is your current leader. Canadian Dave Bennett in the 2nd spot. Zach Millett may be playing the long game here. Going to have to really try and save fuel. He knows there's a few guys back there that could make it to the end with minimal fuel save. Back to the 4th position. Mike LaJoie now up to 3rd. Conover is going to put some pressure on Clinton Myers here for that position. Myers up on the high side. The red, white, and blue Ford F-150 up top. The Thor Sport number 20 down low. And whoa! Clinton Myers, aggressive block off of turn 2. Or was it just a move to get around the 315 truck of Zach Millett? Either way, Millett still 4th. Myers 3rd. Pete Woodrum in the number 6 truck, still the interloper here, a lap down. 3 laps down for that matter. Would get one back with a caution. Needs a few cautions to get back in the mix here. Clinton Myers in the 3rd spot. Steve Requeno still out front. Dave Bennett is 2nd. Requeno about 5-6 truck lengths out in front of the number 13. .26 laps to go from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Requeno out in front. Maybe didn't expect to be in this spot. He's up 4 positions from the start of the race, but big movers in behind him. Dave Bennett, Clinton Myers up 10 positions since the drop of the initial green flag. You gotta wonder what the fuel strategy is for both of those drivers, or if they're just foot to the floor right now. Steve Requeno certainly seems to be in the gas. It seems to be that he's accepted the fact he doesn't have enough and he's going to need a caution. You might as well go out and lead the laps while you can. Or if he's just that much faster, hard to say. And Pete Woodrum in the 6th, running 13th, last truck in the race, 3 laps down. Brought out one of our cautions, likely due to a poor fueling decision. Didn't get the gas man over the wall to put fuel in that truck. Hey, that Zach Millett has slipped to the 5th spot. Mike LaJoy back to 6th. Again, fuel save could be at play here. We've run a lot of these laps under green. The first 34 laps we ran without a caution flag. That was the full distance of a fuel run under the green flag. If we go that distance once again here to finish out the race, some of these faster trucks are going to be in trouble. And Brian Torsha is in the pit lane. Not sure what the issue is here with the two. The truck looks pretty clean. We know he did get into the wall, but it was a minor impact. But he has certainly been off the pace since then. This could be just insurance. Let's go down here. Let's get tires. Does he have a set over the wall still? Maybe that was the case. Yes, he does. At least right sides. Four tires and fuel for the two of Brian Torsha. A fast repair as well. That truck is brand spanking new with 22 to go. Brian Torsha is going to be a lap down here when he rejoins the field, though. But again, with faster, fresher tires, going to see if that plays to advantage. Leader's last speed of 32.05. Be willing to bet the two of Brian Torsha, the freshest Goodyear Eagles in the race right now with 21 laps to go. Torsha officially 1 lap down. He's going to have to get it back the old-fashioned way. Hope that the leaders run out, or better yet, hope for a caution. Can really put these Goodyear tires to use. Right now, running 12th, 1 lap down is Brian Torsha, trying to play a late race strategy move here to see if it could pay off. Requeno still the front of the field, 3.8 seconds over the 13 of Dave Bennett. Clinton Myers not too far in behind the 3rd spot. Aaron Conover 4th. Mike LaJoy slipped further back in the 5th position. Again, a lot of these guys saving fuel. Again, that is what's going on here. Lap times are down. Steve Requeno at 31.81. Again, he's not lifting at all right now. Not trying to save a drop of gas, knowing that it's not going to make a difference, I don't believe. His last pit stop was at lap 41. Topped off the tank then. I think we went back to green about 3 laps later. It'll be awfully close without a caution. I don't see Requeno making it to the finish line on that amount of fuel. Dave Bennett, same thing, lap 41. Clinton Myers, 34, worse so. Aaron Conover, lap 42. If he's careful, maybe. We've got a couple other drivers, though. Shane Wagner, Kevin Feemster, Eric Beadle in the pit lane as well. These drivers trying to pull the same gamble as Brian Torsha, thinking, you know what, it's just not going to work out. We're not going to get that caution that we wanted. They waited as long as they can, but with 18 laps to go, we've got a few of these guys in the pit lane. Fast repair used for Shane Wagner. Kevin Feemster's truck looks pretty solid too, so if they can get back in this race, like 4 tires and fuel for the 7 as well. Shane Wagner, yep, same thing for him as well. Strategy at play. Brian Torsha, Wagner, Feemster, all on the same mindset. 17 laps to go. We'll have to see how this all cycles out. Again, Requeno at the front of the field, going to put down the lap of these drivers. Feemster and Wagner likely going to lose a lap here. It looks like they have. Requeno looking strong at the front of the field still. Eric Beadle there. Eric Beadle not on the lead lap, but he pitted lap 60 with 20 laps to go. He's going to have a little bit fresher tires, may be able to challenge the 24 and take that lap back the old-fashioned way. Zach Millett is in the pit lane as well. Let's see what he's going to take tire-wise. Lefts and rights at least, I believe. Yep, a 15.13 second stop for the 315. Fresh tires going on that Chevy Silverado as well. 16 laps to go from Charlotte. You see Beadle does get around the leader here, gets himself a lap back. Clinton Myers, Aaron Conover also on the pit lane. Shane Wagner again, fresh tires going around the 24. I'm real curious to see when Requeno is going to make the decision to pull off and pit. Or if he's just made the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to run it until she burps and maybe hit the pit lane or hope for a caution. Ben Choate also down the pit lane. Right side's going up on the one truck. And 4 tires and fuel for Ben Choate as well. A lot of these guys working the same strategy. Up here are the top 4. Now, right now, Requeno, Bennett, LaJoie, Jeremy Youngs. That's your top 4. Right now, the only trucks on the lead lap, but looking at the timing charts, the slowest trucks on the racetrack with older tires and lighter fuel tanks. I'll have to see if they can make it to the finish here again. Gonna have to hope for a caution. They've got that lap advantage. Should be curious where they cycle through if they do decide to pit under the green flag. Clinton Myers is in the 5th spot, but a lap down. The first car lap down, he would get that lap back under a caution flag for the lucky dog. Dave Bennett, 4.5 seconds. Second place, back from the leader. You've got Ben Choate there closing the gap. Again, Choate not on the lead lap. Most of the field off the lead lap from 5th on back, a lap or more down. Choate with the faster, warmer, and newer Goodyear Eagles. That's right around the 13. Again, the front. We'll have to see if the 24 decides he's going to take off the track, hit the pit lane, and make that decision to top off the tanks to make it to the end. Last pit stop for Requeno was a 14.65, so I've got to imagine he may have taken his only set of tires. If he does pit, it may be for fuel only. Splash and go needed for the 24 to make it to the finish. He does have quite the advantage over Dave Bennett, though. If he decides he's going to start to save a little bit of fuel, there's 10 laps to go. He might be able to do it, but 3rd and 4th, Mike LaJoie, Jeremy Youngs both hit the pit lane. Youngs is down and away, likely a stop and go. 5 seconds. Yep, splash of fuel and out of there. Zach Millett, 4th spot. Mike LaJoie is in the pit lane, like we said. Let's see if he's going to take tires or just fuel only. If he's going to do tires, I think it's a little bit late for that one. Yeah, topping off the tank only for the 29 of LaJoie. He is down and away, going to rejoin the race. Steve Requeno still out in front. Dave Bennett. Top 2 trucks have not pit since lap 41. Last guys to not pit on this cycle with 9 laps to go. Top 2, the only trucks on the lead lap because of this cycle. I say that. Zach Millett's going to have to come up here and do something. He's 3rd. Ben Choate gets a run by. He's going to take a spot. And Steve Requeno in the pit lane. Steve Requeno hits the pit lane with 9 coming to 8 laps to go. Dave Bennett's going to take over the top spot, stay on the racetrack. Requeno relinquishes the top spot, slips to 2nd. Again, they had a lap advantage over just about everybody from 3rd on back. Is he going to have tires to take? Nope. It's going to be fuel only for the number 24 Napa Auto Parts Silverado. Steve Requeno in and out in a hurry, spins the tires out of the box, and he's back in the race. We'll see where he cycles back through. Dave Bennett, again, needs to stop. Little wiggle out of the 24. Again, old tires. You got to clean them up before you get back in the throttle. Dave Bennett just into turn number 1. Dave Bennett trying to become the leader on a lap of his own, and he is. Dave Bennett, the number 13, has cycled himself to the lead spot on a lap all by himself until now. Zach Millett didn't last long. Zach Millett, the 315 truck, gets on by the 13, takes that lap back, puts himself in the 2nd spot right in front of the leader. You see the advantage that Dave Bennett has on everyone else, but again, unless he managed to save a ton of fuel, he is going to have to stop. He is hoping and praying for a caution here, but again, you got to keep in mind, did he take tires? He did. No, he didn't. He actually has a set of tires unless he burned them super early because his last stop was only 4.67 seconds. And here he is. He's going to peel off the racetrack from the lead spot. Likely a stop and go, splash and go. I say that, but his last stop was fuel only. Maybe he's saving that set till right now. I don't see that to be an advantage. He would need the caution to come out right now for this to work out for him. Yep, fuel only for the 13 to Dave Bennett. He's going to rejoin the race, but where will he land? Zach Millett has made his pit stop, passed Dave Bennett, put himself back on the lead lap. About a lap or two ago, and Zach cycles to the top spot. Dave Bennett loses that. Second position also. He's in third now. Requino up to second. See Pete Woodrum going to hit the pit lane. Bennett back to fourth. I think he waited a little bit too long to make that call. Clinton Myers goes on by, takes the fifth position. Still going to be a decent day for for Dave Bennett. He has an opportunity here to finish top five and get back by Clinton Myers. With 4 laps to go, we'll have to see. Zach Millett, though, on a charge here in the top spot. About ready to put the 44 on Jeremy Young's another lap down. Just catching this comment in the YouTube chat. Brandon Minnick. Well, hello, everyone. Retirement sucks. Brandon Minnick out of the Lone Star Racing Stables, another league that we're going to cover for here in the upcoming weeks. A recent retiree of the iRacing service. Going to focus his attention on family and business and maybe join me up in the booth on occasion as the next season for LSR gets going. Three laps to go. Zach Millett cycled his way back to the front, has played this chess match like a pro. Top of being quick, he's smart behind the wheel, or if he were on top of the pit box. 2 laps to go. He's worked the strategy, worked the fuel and the tire game to his advantage. He's just recently cycled back to the top spot. He was a lap down maybe 10 laps ago. Now he's the leader over Steve Requino, Aaron Conover, Mike LaJoy, and Clinton Myers. That's the top 5. Dave Bennett pit from the top spot right before Millett took the lead back to get his final fuel for the race. I think he waited a bit too long to do just that, but nonetheless, it's the bed that he has made. White flag waves over the My Cricket Makes Truck Series. Zach Millett into turn number 1. Zach off of turn number 2 into the backstretch for the final time. He drops it down low. Nobody close enough to really even challenge the 315 at this point. It's a 6.5 second advantage back to second place Steve Requino. Zach Millett through turn number 4 gets into the dog leg, sees the checkered flag. It is waving. Zach Millett is going to win the My Cricket Makes Truck Series race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Second place will be Steve Requino as he crosses the line. Aaron Conover brings it home third. LaJoy fourth. It looks like Dave Bennett's going to sacrifice it here and get that 5th place finish over the 2 of Brian Torsha. Fireworks in the air. Celebration is on. Zach Millett, your race winner here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Zach using the Roval chicane just for fun. Zach Millett is victorious. We're going to step aside here, take a short break. We'll be back with our top 3 after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the My Cricket Makes Truck Series. 80 lapper has come to its conclusion. Zach Millett is your winner. Strategy has been played and the checkered flag has waved. Let's go to our winner, Zach Millett. It's Steve in the HBR TV booth. Do you got a copy?
Hey Steve, how's it going?
Going well, sir. Again, congratulations on the victory here this evening. It was some strategy and really some flat out pace. You looked sharp out there tonight. Didn't look great there in the mid portion of the race. Tell us about what strategy you pulled and tried to work to your advantage. Clearly it worked out to win this race here at Charlotte.
Well, I wanted to go as long as I could on the first set of tires and kind of reward myself, if you will, at the end with the new tires. So it was pretty hard to not pit while everybody's going around me. And finally made it work at the end, though. I didn't think Steve had to stop again. I thought he was going to save enough gas to make it, so I was pretty worried about it.
Seemed like some guys did have the ability to go that full distance on green. We weren't sure if it was going to happen. It worked out for some guys, but the distance was too much to make up. You were a lap down with, I think, less than 10 laps to go, but everything cycled back through. You end up back towards the front, and still the fastest car still seemed to win the race, even though it was still fuel mileage and strategy based. Did you think for a minute it wasn't going to happen, or did you think you had this thing locked up?
Oh, big time. When I looked and I saw I was a lap down, I was just waiting for the caution. I was just waiting for it and just got lucky.
Well, Zach, you look strong out there. Congratulations. Good pace, good strategy. It all came together and you brought home a checkered flag. Before we let you get out of here, is there anybody that you need to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the OG Racing League, Holler Boys Racing for the great coverage, Vita Motorsports, and shoot me a follow on all the socials, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram at that S4 guy.
What is the handle?
That's that S4 guy.
That S4 guy on Twitch, and where else?
We got Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram.
Across the board. Makes it nice and easy. One username for all the platforms. Again, Zach, congratulations. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck at the next one.
Thanks, man. We'll see you.
That was Zach Millett, your winner here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the My Cricket Makes Truck Series. In the book, second place driver, Steve Requino. Let's get a word with Steve and see his thoughts on this evening's race. Steve, it's, well, Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy? And Steve has bailed. Let's try this one more time. Steve Requino, it's Steve in the and he's gone again. All right, Steve Requino, we got a copy?
Yeah, I don't know why it's not letting me join.
I don't know. I keep pulling you up and you keep bouncing out, but I got you here in the green room. The second place finish for the number 24. I know it came down to fuel mileage and some strategy. Was there a different strategy you had thought about, or was this what you were sticking with? You still end up second, but was there a way you could have gotten around the 315?
Well, that was my strategy. I think there was one caution and a quick caution after that, and then I was like, "There's going to be 35 or something left to go. Let me take the tires, try to do something different." I didn't think I had enough for him if it was going to be a 10-lap run. Try to do something different, didn't work, and it sucks.
Second is never a good thing, but we'll take it, I guess. It's better than 13th. I know it's not what you wanted. You wanted to bring that checkered flag home. You looked strong all night. You had some good pace as well, but just came up short there at the end.
Yeah, try to do something different. It didn't work out, but still had a blast. These guys are good racers, fun racing with them. So,
you know what they always say: if you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. Steve, again, congratulations on the second place finish. I mean, it's again not what you wanted, but we'll take it. I'm sure it's better than last, like we said before we let you get out of here. Is there anybody you need to thank?
I just got to thank all the sponsors and everybody that lets us run this. It's fun. And not looking forward to the Chicago Street Course next week.
Put in the laps. As a road course guy myself, put in the laps. Drive that place every day this week, and you will benefit from it, I promise you.
I'll take your word for it.
Well, Steve Requino, our second place finisher here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Next, we'll try and bring up our third place finisher, Aaron Conover. Let's get a word with the driver of the number 20. Aaron, it's Steve in the broadcast booth. You got a copy? Aaron Conover, Steve in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Aaron Conover, our third place finisher here tonight in Charlotte. First of all, tell us about your night. Was there a better strategy you could have pulled? I mean, you weren't really a third place truck most of the night. I'm not picking on you, but you still managed to bring it home top 3. So there's some solace in that fact. What was the strategy coming in? How did things change as the race progressed?
Well, I appreciate that, Steve. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, it was another mess up. I came down pit that first, I think it was like that first 30 lap stint, and I didn't get my right sides unchecked fast enough. So I was on right sides from 38 on, unfortunately. So I thought I did pretty relatively decent for just having that. Yeah, I like you said, I was pretty much middle of the pack all day, just kind of hanging out, letting my tires do, not trying to burn them off too quick, and just fortunate enough that the late pit cycle happened, and it just unraveled, and Zach came up flying with the new tires, so I just let him go, and just being patient, and I'll take a third place.
So we didn't uncheck the right sides. So you had right sides, or you only had lefts?
So that time that I accidentally passed my pit stop, that's when I didn't get my right sides unchecked. So the right sides went up. I got the left sides unchecked in time, but so I took right sides like lap 40 something. So yeah, it was kind of a fail in my part, but like I said, it's just so much to going into that, the black box, and just a rookie mistake, but it ended up working out for me tonight.
So further on to the next stop, or your last stop of the race, I don't recall, did you take left sides, or did you just top off the tanks? Did you leave the left sides in the pit lane?
I actually took the left sides. I think it was not the last pit stop, the one before. So I had relatively decent grip, because at that time my right sides were only at like 89, because at that time I was conserving big time. But yeah, so it like I said, it kind of worked out. It was kind of improved to the strategy, but hey, I'll take it.
Well, either way, a handling adjustment to be made when you change tires that you didn't plan on changing, and then you got to go lefts instead of rights, can certainly throw the driver a curveball. You did a great job with it tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Brought home the 20 and in the third place finish. Aaron, before we let you get out of here, is there anybody you got to thank?
Of course, just everybody watching at home. Natalie, Steve, you do a great job at the broadcast. OG Racing League, all of our sponsors. It's just been a great season this year. Very competitive. Finally got out of rut, so feeling pretty good. So yeah, just want to thank everybody that puts everything on. Like I said, Clan, everybody in the background. So, but ready for next week, I guess.
Good luck on the road course, Aaron, going forward. It's going to be a tough one, but as I said to Steve Requino, put in the laps this week. Every chance you get an opportunity, run the laps. It will pay off in the end, I promise you.
Well, you're the guy for road courses, you and Mark, so I will take that for sure.
Aaron, again, congratulations, man. Third place finish here at Charlotte. Good luck, man.
Thanks, man. Have a good night, Steve.
You. Third place driver, the number 20, Aaron Conover. Just got a word from him. A little mistake on the pit strategy. Didn't get the tire decision made until too late. Right sides went on when they shouldn't have. Left sides went on at the wrong time when they could have been all four. It's just, it's tough. It's a balance. Again, we talked about it during the race. You're the driver, you're the crew chief. In some cases, you're kind of the spotter, because those things are only so reliable when they're not in real life. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of luck. It takes a lot of things to go right to win these races. A lot of things to go right to finish top 3. And for Zach Millett, Steve Requino, and Aaron Conover, it certainly did tonight. And even some mistakes. He overcame that mistake and still finished third. So Aaron Conover, a nice job. Go over our finishing results here from Charlotte. Zach Millett is your winner, of course. Steve Requino second. Conover was third. Mike LaJoy fourth. Dave Bennett brings it home in the 5th position. Brian Torsha still salvages a 6th place finish over the late race pit stop. We were concerned that was going to be a major issue for Brian. Still brings it home just shy of a top 5. Clint Myers was 7th. Shane Wagner 8th. Eric Beadle 9th. Kevin Feemster was a better running truck than what the finish presented. Finishes 10th. Ben Choate, kind of the same thing, finishes 11th. Jeremy Youngs, Pete Woodrum 12th. and 13th, respectively. Once again, thank you all for joining us here in the stream, whether it was Facebook or YouTube. We do appreciate it every week. Those of you that chime in the chat, I know Tabitha Brown is not shy about saying hello. We certainly appreciate it. But Natalie Bravo was cheering on Aaron Conover in there. We need that. You guys pop in, talk to me, man. I mean, you guys are all shy. There's a couple of you that are not, but we had Brandon Minnick over in the YouTube side. Again, Brandon's from the Lone Star Nation guys that I'm going to broadcast here on Thursdays, Thursdays. I think it's Thursdays. I got to go check. But nonetheless, we appreciate the participation. You guys are a part of the show just as much as these race cars out on track are. If you got things to say, I may not see it right away, but I'll try to go back, make some comments. If it's under caution, especially, that's usually when I get a chance to look. Say hi, cheer on your driver. Where are you watching from? You know, whatever. This chat is open for you guys. That's why it's there. Please feel free to say hello. And as always, thank you if you haven't already done so. Facebook.com/HollerBoysRacingTV. Like, follow, share, subscribe, and also YouTube at HollerBoysRacingTV. There is a Z in place of the S with boys, and racing has no G. So look at your screen at the bottom there, Facebook.com/HollerBoysRacingTV. Turn the notifications on so every time we go live, that notification, well, it tells you just that. Hey, we're live. Check us out. Turn the TV on. Get your phone out. Get your tablet going. Whatever you got to do. That way you don't miss a second of the action, whether it's the OG Racing League with My Cricut Makes, the Tour Modified series that just wrapped up recently, or the LSI ARCA series. You won't miss any minute of the action. And hey, why don't you pop in, watch one of the races that isn't the OG Racing League. We're welcoming you at any point. Whenever we're live, come stop by, say hello. We do appreciate it. Lastly, thank you all for watching. We're going to sign off here from tonight from Charlotte Motor Speedway, the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV saying thank you for watching. We'll catch you next week, Thursday, the LSI ARCA series. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.